Hello everyone. So I had pre-recorded this video last week. I pre-record like 10 videos in a row. That way I have it's easier for me to pre-record and then just upload. I did this video and I wanted to re-record it. And I hadn't posted the other one yet, but I wanted to pre-record it because I was kind of all over the place mentally as far as trying to collect my thoughts, because this issue that I'm going to speak about is something that crawls under my skin. So it was hard for me to really keep myself together and collected and in a mental space in which I could speak about this not only freely but clearly. So now that I've had, some time to think about it, I decided to give it another go instead of posting the other one, because I think a lot of people would have watched the video and would have said, what happened? So this video is going to be on acceptance. How do you deal with other people when they don't accept your path or the way that you choose your life, or the way that you choose to live your life, I should say. This is a tough subject because you have two groups of people. You have your category of family and friends, and then you have your category of acquaintances and strangers. There literally is only two groups of people. It's difficult because when somebody you don't know judges the way that you live your life, it's a lot easier to move forward past that moment, because opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one, and it's easier to move past someone else's opinion that you don't know. It's a lot harder to move past an opinion or a judgment that comes from someone that not only do you know, but you care about. And so this video is going to be on how to deal with those people or those situations when they come up, when they don't accept you or your path. Unfortunately, we come across a lot of people in our inner circle, whether it be friends that we've known for a long time or family members. They expect us to fit in this little box, their little box of comfort. And whatever makes them uncomfortable, they want to ignore or make it go away. And that's not the way that the world works. And so this is where a friend had suggested to me, like, how do I deal with people who don't accept my path? And so, she had suggested me do a video on this, and I think that it's a really great subject. So first of all, breaking up the two categories and figuring out who goes in what category. There's like a piece of dust flying around me. You have your friends and your close friends, people that you know well, and your family. How do you deal with judgment coming from them? You, number one, have to ask yourself a question. Am I completely 100% comfortable and proud of the life that I live? Am I sure this is my path? Is this the path that leads me to my most growth and complete fulfillment and happiness? And if your answer to those are yes, then you then have to deal with or think about the question, how do I move forward in a way that they understand that my life is not their choice, that they don't have a say? Really quick, I just want to give a short little story. And this ties in. A lot of times people judge your lifestyle because they don't understand. It comes from fear. It comes from lack of understanding. So majority of the time, they think that you're in some kind of moral danger. They feel like, your soul is going to burn in eternal hell, because a lot of times these judgments come from Christians and Catholics. And it's unfortunate that they have been brainwashed in a sense. And I'm not speaking for all, because I know a lot of Christians and Catholics that are very open-minded. But there are some that make it a mission to save people. Quick story. When I first told my mother, now I was really hesitant on telling my family my path. I was in the broom closet for a while. I was completely happy with who I was in my path, and I decided I don't want to hide who I am anymore. I don't want to pretend to be a Christian at the Thanksgiving table. I don't want to pretend to be a Christian at the Christmas table whenever all the family gets together and everybody's having prayer, and I don't want to pretend anymore. And so I told my mother that, I was a pagan and that I was a witch, and her immediate response, her face kind of like saddened, and it was, that goes against the Bible. You're going to go to hell. And I tried to explain to her, and I told her, like, no, you don't understand. That's not true. Whatever you've been taught is not the case. And not everybody has to believe in what you believe. And over time, because I made it very clear to my family who I was, and I stood firm in my beliefs, and I did not make it a choice for them to, it was either you accept me as I am, or I'm going to have to distance myself. And over time, they came around. My mom started sending me pictures. She would be at like the mall or something, and she would find this store with like fairy stuff or like witch related stuff, and she'd send me pictures. Oh, I think you'd like this. She started to come around, and I think part of that was because she knows me as a person, and I think that's one of the things that you can respond with. If someone from your family or your close circle of friends starts to question how you live your life or make you feel like you're doing something wrong, that could be a response that you have for them. Up until this moment that I've told you my path, there was no issue. You liked who I was as a person prior to this information that I've just provided to you. What has changed since this information that I've told you? Absolutely nothing. Nothing. And this again, you can literally have this conversation with people to make them understand. If I hadn't told you, and if I would have stayed quiet, I would still be that same good person you thought I was 10 minutes ago before I told you. So it really comes down to how you live your life spirituality should not equate the goodness of a person. And this is a message that we need to get across to people. However, it doesn't do anybody any good to deliver that message in a hostile way. And believe me, I understand that it gets frustrating and it gets tiresome and it gets energetically draining to have to explain to people or educate them. I want to use those words instead, that we are not what they think we are. And I think it's important, just as there are, they think that there's, witches are bad. The principle of witchcraft is neither good nor bad. It is neutral. There is no such thing as bad magic and good magic. However a caster or a witch chooses to use their magic for, that's on them. That still does not make it bad or good magic. If people are out there doing their own thing, that's on them. I have zero judgment for anyone that uses magic for however they wish. But the same can be said for Christians and Catholics. And I think sometimes, depending on who you're talking to, this can be a reminder to them. You have, priests that are molesting children. Does that priest become a representative of the entire religion as a whole? Christians would argue no. So why would you base your whole opinion on witchcraft based on what you've seen in movies, based on possibly an experience you've had with one? Why not gain knowledge? Allow yourself to become educated. Listen. And this is a hard task to accomplish because a lot of people are set in their ways and they believe what they believe, and a lot of people are stubborn and they don't want to move or shift into another thinking process. They don't want to believe that witches are good because they've been taught otherwise their entire lives. So as we break up those two categories, and we're talking about the friends and family, close friends. If you have family members and friends that want you to fit in this little box, this little comfort box of theirs, and they're not willing to hear anything that you have to say, you have a choice to make. Are you going to stay silent? Are you going to conform when you are around them to appease them, or are you going to live your most authentic life? That is a choice that you have to make, and this is a very, very individual choice. These choices are not universal. Not one choice fits everyone. So you have to think about it, depending on your family, how they were, how you were brought up. I don't feel it does anybody any good to hide who they are, to close themselves off when around certain people. Anytime you get together with family members that have conditions to their acceptance, challenge it. This does not have to be in a hostile way. This does not have to be in a way that has like a negative energy to it. It doesn't. You can do this in a way that will open them up eventually to see what you mean, what you've been trying to describe all of this time and it has been difficult to get through. Challenge them, challenge their thoughts. And this is not just like sit down and immediately, start challenging them. Challenge them when they start trying to talk some sense into you. Challenge that. Don't allow them to I don't want to say manipulate. I feel like that's a strong word. There are some out there that will try to manipulate you, that will try to make you feel like you're the most horrible human on the planet. And this includes loved ones. This definitely includes loved ones. And so that's why I say you have a choice you have to make. Because it's important to be true to who you are. If somebody is making you feel uncomfortable, it may be time to distance yourself. If that's not possible, then that's a tough spot to be in. However, don't be afraid to stand up for who you are. They will have no problem standing up for their religion and why they feel like it's necessary to project that onto you and make you feel like whatever you're doing, if you're going against their God, then you are somehow doing something horribly wrong and, that you need to change your ways. Challenge that. And as I said before, it does not have to be in an aggressive way or, a hostile way. Do it in and it's so hard to explain, because believe me, I understand that there are some family members and some friends, you will have some friends walk out of your life because you don't fit in their little box of comfort. Let them go. Don't be mad. And that's another thing that's hard. Don't be mad if people leave your life for what you believe in. If someone isn't comfortable with it and they feel like they need to exit your life, number one, just as you are living your life the best way that you feel is for you, they are doing the same. And even though you may not agree with it, they're doing you a favor. Don't be mad. Don't get mad at the situation. Wish them well and let them go on their way. Because at the end of the day, what service or what benefit does it provide you or them to have people in your life that are either A, afraid of you, or B, think that you've become this horrible person, even though you were this wonderful person, just before you told them. It's better to just let them go. This includes family. When you have this other group of people, of acquaintances, people you don't know well, strangers, their opinion really don't matter. And you don't have to educate them if you don't want to. People are good, and that's like the toughest thing, is that you can try all day to educate people, and sometimes they just won't listen, because they are so hell-bent on showing you that you are the wrong one, and that you are the one that needs to change your ways, and you are the one that is in the wrong, even though you are telling them that they are not in the wrong, but neither am I, because everybody has an individual path. I don't have issues. My hair is so knotted. I don't have issues with Christians. It's when they bring it to me in a way that is disrespectful. That's when I have the issue. And my response to them when this happens is not, and believe me, inside my head, I'm like, you know what? Just go fuck yourself. Inside my head, that's where I'm at. But I have to remember, even though I do not represent witchcraft as a whole, and even though I don't represent the pagan community as a whole, I am representing myself as a pagan, and I am representing myself as a witch. I do not want people, if you already think that I'm bad, or you already think that I'm evil, and you already think that I'm this or that or anything, it's going to be my duty, and I speak for myself, it's going to be my duty to make sure that you understand that just because I am a witch and just because I am a pagan does not make me a bad person. And I'm going to carry myself in a way, and I'm going to present myself in a way that is going to be more on the side of understanding that there's a lot of brainwash that happens in the church. And I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying there's a lot of anything that doesn't fit in this box of Christianity, box of Catholicism, whatever, that it is not good. When you're taught that from a young age, sometimes it's like talking to a wall when you're trying to get through some people. And that's why I say sometimes you have to walk away, because sometimes it's not worth it, but it's also not worth your peace of mind to struggle with your identity and struggle with, oh, I have to go see family these holidays. What's it going to be? That, they're going to tell me how horrible of a person. If that is the mindset you have before going someplace, don't go. You don't owe it to anybody. And I know, and this probably sounds like a horrible message because I'm basically telling people not to go see their family if their family is making them feel a certain type of way. But why? What do we owe these people? Tell me, what do we owe these people? They are our family, yes. Do we love them? Yes. Do we owe them anything? Do we have to go anywhere because they're family? No. You want it to be in a place where you'd like to go. You want to go and enjoy time. You do not have to be there. And if somebody is making you feel uncomfortable, or you have to hide who you are because of the way someone else feels, and that's like a topic of conversation every time you see someone, is it worth your peace of mind? Absolutely not. You can arrange a time to go after that person has left if need be. You can make it very clear that when you walk in the door, if this is going to be a topic of conversation this time, I'm going to leave. Don't be afraid to stand up for yourself, because they have no problem standing up for their religion. They have no problem telling people how wrong they are for following a different path. So stand up for yourself. And as I said before, strangers, you can literally just walk away. Pretend like you never even heard it. If you have the energy to drop some knowledge on them, do so. Educate them. But it's not a necessity. You owe them nothing. You don't owe your family anything. And so I think that's the point of this message in this video, is that how do you deal with people who don't accept your path? Really, the how to get to the how to deal is really an internal thing. Are you happy? If you are happy with your lifestyle and you feel like this is your calling and you were called to this path and you feel completely comfortable in this path and it makes sense to you, and it feels right, and you've discovered your spirituality, you've discovered who you are, you're becoming free from all of these things that tied you down prior to finding this path. And because when you are following a religion or a path, or even if you don't know what your path is, there's a sense of being lost in those moments, because we are connected to nothing. So when we find that connection, when we find that connection to something that makes us feel good, that makes us feel like we are part of something, when we connect to that in our practices and what we do, and we feel that energy, why would you give that up? Or why would you hide that? Because, as I said, they don't hide anything. Christianity and Catholicism is one of the most open religions there is. And witchcraft is not a religion. Witchcraft is not a religion at all. It's a work of energy, work of magic, period. Now, if you pair witchcraft with paganism or Wicca or whatever it is that you are, there are some Christian witches, there are some Catholic witches. So witchcraft doesn't have any ties to any religion or spiritual paths. I am a pagan, and I do not consider myself a religious person. However, I am very spiritual. I can't say I don't know. I don't need anybody's acceptance. I am perfectly happy in the path that I'm in. I've never felt so connected to anything in my life since I found paganism, and the more into it I've become. Now, I've been a pagan for quite a while, and a witch as well. I don't need anybody's acceptance, and you need to get to that point as well. You don't need someone to accept you as much as you would like it. I think anybody could say we would like to be accepted by our family and friends, but you don't need it. And so I'd say that's how you deal with those people. Going into it, understanding that you don't need for them to accept you. Just bring up some valid points and how you can get them to understand. They don't need to convert to what your path. They don't, and make that clear to them. Like, I'm not trying to say that my path is better than yours. I'm saying my path, for me, is equal to your path for you. We are no better than the other on this planet. Everybody is equal. Everybody is the same. We are all the same. We are part of the universe, and we are all connected. And it's crazy how torn apart we are as humans, and how disconnected a lot of people are from the earth. And so I'm going way off topic. See, this is why I pre-recorded because the other one was worse than this, if you can believe that. The other one was so much worse than this. I was going on a tangent. I said, I can't post that because people will have no idea what the hell is going on. So that's why I'm trying to level-headedly explain. My point of this video, 25 minutes in, is you don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to justify your path. You don't need acceptance. It's nice to have it, though. And so challenge them. Anytime they bring that opportunity to you, accept the challenge. And over time, they are either going to say, well, you know, she or he is a lost cause, and so I'm walking away from them, and that might hurt you. It might, but they'd be doing you a favor. Or they're going to say, well, he or she is who they are, and I'm going to accept them even though I may not understand it. It's going to go either way. Either way, however it turns out, it's always for the better, for you. So I hope that my message was clear in this video. It wouldn't have been clear in the last video. In my next video, because I pre-recorded it all, in my next video was one pre-recorded after the one I made previously, and I talk about it in the beginning, like how much of a shit show the other video was, because I'm not even kidding. It was a shit show. And so I hope that this message was clear, and I hope that this video helped you if you are struggling with acceptance, or trying to, like, especially with family and friends, trying to get them to understand your way of life and your path and who you are. I hope that this was helpful, even just a little bit. So I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.